high, we gon' guess the speed. Neon lights so bright like it's ecstasy. Can you ride on this tide, sail away with me?
Got my man Jaydn Sol sitting down with Supply Lab today. I appreciate you taking the time out. So let's just dive right into it. As a musical artist, growing up, I know you traveled a lot. So when you went on those road trips with your mom and y'all listened to what kind of music?
90s R&B, 90s pop music. It's like my mom's a big like Boyz II Men fan. Blackstreet, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, groups like that in the 90s. That was big. My mom was also a big like 80s rock and roll fan, so a lot of like AC/DC, Aerosmith. 70s was in there too, but like for the most part, 90s is what I always heard in my car.
Any gospel music that stick out on those road trips?
Yeah, like Kirk Franklin is a big one that my mom always listened to. So Kirk was always the big one, and then a couple other gospel groups too. But like I said, mostly R&B. My mom listened as we got older. My mom listened to like contemporary Christian music, so I would hear that a lot.
Okay. But
for the most part, like I was really tuned into like the pop R&B sound too. So
got you. And then you spoke about Kirk Franklin. You got a favorite Kirk Franklin song? Something that was probably on repeat?
Probably Brighter Day. Brighter Day is definitely like top tier for me. Or like Down by the Riverside. Like those are like top tier.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Also growing up, I know you had some expensive tastes when it comes to food. So I know you had steak and lobster on a regular.
Man.
So having the luxury of that, what's some of your favorite foods or restaurants now?
Some of my favorite foods and restaurants. I mean, definitely one of my favorite restaurants is one in Lexington called Bourbon and Toulouse, and it's like Cajun food. So I love spices, like anything that's spicy, got that little tang to it. Like I like that sweet and spicy taste. I still like going to grills and stuff like that, but for the most part, like I like doing it myself. I'm always just like adjusted to like doing a lot of stuff myself. So cooking steak, I ain't got to lobster yet. I ain't got on that level yet. But like
more so home cooked meals.
Yeah. Like
so what's something that you would whip up in the kitchen?
Probably like salmon, rice, some like asparagus or zucchini, squash. Okay. Stuff like that. So
very healthy.
I'm in no way a chef at all. I just like eating good food that tastes good and everything. So
you say you're not a chef, but you know one though.
Yeah. So I mean, technically, my dad was a chef for a while. Like technically, my dad worked in the kitchen for almost 15, 16 years before he became a barber.
Wow.
So like growing up, like. That's where I would get a lot of my, like steak or like if he, ended up cooking some like ribs and stuff like that. That's where I learned that stuff from. So he worked like 3 different restaurants when we was growing up as kids. So he was in the kitchen a lot.
Yeah, y'all was lucky. Y'all was blessed.
Man,
y'all was blessed.
Man.
And kind of just, staying along those same lines with your dad. When your dad came to talk to you about, music and really sitting you down and letting you know like, hey, it's cool not to be an athlete, because you played football, basketball growing up. So when he sat you down, I was like, hey, don't worry about sports, focus on music. How significant was that moment for you?
Big, because like just knowing, especially having a dad in my life that like supported my vision and supported what I was trying to do. He's always told me and my siblings just like go after whatever it is that you're passionate about. Whatever passions you have, like turn them into actual reality or actual career. But just hearing that from him, just knowing I had the support, he basically was like, I'm gonna support you no matter what, as long as you actually trying to go accomplish what it is that you're trying to do.
Most definitely.
And not staying stagnant, not, getting complacent and everything. So my dad's always been a big hustler, like, getting to where he is now with his barbershop and his other businesses that he has, like, it's taking years, but at the same time, it's that marathon. Everything takes time and persistence. But having him in my corner in high school and college and even in my young adult life has been huge. Just knowing I've got him as a support system too. So yeah.
And just to go off what you just said, fast forward to now, how did that impact your career as an artist, like today?
it's definitely impacted it in a positive way. When you have, I know a lot of artists, they might not have the support system from their family that, I have from my dad. I still have family that, they don't agree with like the type of music I do with R&B and pop because they're conservative, stuff like that, which is understandable. But like having a parent specifically that is in your corner, like supports it, listens to a lot of the same music that you listen to, listens to the same music that you write, gives you like key pointers and everything like that. Like as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it because like another thing is I know I got friends of mine who don't have dads in their life, and so the fact that I can go to him as like a resource and somebody who I can look up to as a mentor through all of it, even though he's not in the industry, it's still like he's giving me pointers on like, okay, here's how you need to move. Like if this doesn't sound right, don't go with this. Just kind of how to maneuver too. So
definitely, no, that's huge. That's huge. And you spoke about the road trips with your mom and the type of music she would play, and so your dad seemed more of like not so much R&B, but more of a hip hop type of guy. So how did your dad's taste in music influence your style that you have?
So, like sometimes I like writing freestyles and doing that myself, like, just off the top. I've always envisioned myself not just being an artist and a singer, but also a songwriter. So like writing music for other people too. And so like some of the, like Tupac, obviously, like that was my biggest one that I heard. Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, he'd be playing like Big Daddy Kane, all these like old school artists, at least to me they're old school, like
Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface, all them guys, like he would be playing all this stuff, and it was just a good way for me to diversify my sound that I was hearing, but then it also helped me create my sound that I do, because I still think I don't sound like anybody else that's out, and to me that was an important factor of finding out what my sound was and how I wanted to sound specifically, but then also being able to carry that over into different styles as well. So like if I want to, I can hop on a hip hop beat and rap / sing over it, or if I want to switch it up and go to a pop beat, then I can go to that, or R&B beat. So having him bring that hip hop diversity into was really big. Bone Thugs and Harmony was a big one too that we heard a lot of. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But you can definitely hear it in your music, and so let's switch gears to your music. You got a couple of singles out now. Definitely working on the EP, right?
Yeah.
So what can we expect from the EP?
The EP's like a upbeat, happy feel. So like, I don't know. It was mainly just me. I always like writing love music, feel good music. Stuff that. If you got a girl, or if you got a girl that you're trying to, holler at, trying to get at, and stuff like that, it's some stuff that guys can feel too. But the one thing that my dad always taught me, which is why he was so valuable, was like, if you make music for the ladies, the guys are gonna always listen to it too, because like they ladies is gonna be listening to it, and then they gonna catch on to it as well. Right. So the EP is more of just a way of me expressing my emotions when it comes to like love and like relationships, and searching for that feeling in the process of finding it and everything. So yeah. Okay. And I've got some other music too that's not gonna be on the EP, but it's gonna be, kind of like a separate style that follows that up. So yeah. Okay. Kind of like some summertime Cali vibes.
That's a bet. When can we expect to hear that?
March, the EP, like itself, March.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on it in March right now. Got some other things going on behind the scenes, so we taking time with it just to kind of get out there, which is why we just keep dropping singles, just to keep everybody, in tune with what's going on. But March is like when we really want to drop it. We was thinking about Valentine's, but we was like, nah, let Valentine's be its own thing. Follow that up,
Well, knowing you, I'm sure you got a Valentine's single.
Oh no, that's coming too. Yeah, that's coming too.
I bet. So being as versatile as you are as an artist, who would be like a dream feature for you, or somebody that you would just love to work with?
Dang. A dream feature? I mean, Drake, I think, is probably one of everybody's dream features, because like when Drake hops on something, it's a smash, right? So that's definitely a dream. Personal favorites that I would love to work with, like Trey Songz has always been somebody who I've always envisioned myself being on a song with, and just having that connection. Miguel would be somebody else who I would love to do a song with. Alicia Keys, I would love to do a song with Alicia Keys.
That'd be a dope collab.
Yeah, like that'd be crazy.
Y'all compliment each other well, so that'd be
Appreciate
That'd be a dope collab.
Yeah, that would definitely be crazy. And there's some new art, like The Weeknd would be great. Like that would be dope to work with The Weeknd. Some hip hop artists too. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I really think we could complement each other's sounds with just the way they. Cole obviously, he can hop on an R&B track and kill it. Kendrick would be cool too. I mean, basically anybody that I listen to that I see myself with. Blast is definitely one of my top ones though. Like Blast is one of my favorite artists out right now, just because I think a lot of the music he writes is very similar to mine. Okay. And it's not too complex. It's very simplistic, so it's very easy for the listener to catch on to and like feel what he's talking about while also catching the vibe. So definitely. That's why I think me and him, if we got on a song together, like that'd be dope.
It would be crazy. That would be crazy. You spoke a lot about influences, but do you have a top 5 right now? We can go hip hop, we can go R&B. It's up to you.
Ooh. In no particular order.
No particular.
I mean, my top 5 favorites for sure. Blast is definitely in there. I got him on repeat all the time. I would definitely say, like, as far as other, like, outside the R&B genre, like J. Cole's one of my favorites, Kendrick's one of my favorites, Drake is obviously up there too, and then probably, man, I'm trying to think of another R&B guy that I rock with heavy. I don't know, man. It's a lot of guys that I listen to. A lot of girls. I mean, Summer Walker's new stuff is raw.
What about your man Russ?
Or Russ, yeah.
I ain't want to say it for you, but
yeah. I mean, hey, Russ is definitely who I draw a lot of inspiration from, especially being independent. He's definitely like a guy who I watch constantly and just learn from. But yeah, Russ definitely top tier for sure in that category. He's very underrated for what he does.
Bet. And I know you spoke about the EP going to come out. You got music out now. You have singles out now. Mm-hmm. So where can people find your music?
Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. We got a couple music videos out. SoundCloud, if you got SoundCloud, Tidal, basically all streaming platforms. It's out everywhere. So, yeah, man.
Okay, well, I appreciate you sitting down with the lab today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro.
Night, long ride, hop inside with me. Rip your thigh, hold on tight, we gon' guess the speed. Neon lights so bright like it's ecstasy. Can you ride on this tide, sail away with me? Night, long ride, hop inside with me. Rip your thigh, hold on tight, we gon' guess the